Hey everyone. So for a while I've been trying to put together a Ranger Academy rewrite, and man, it is such a hard thing for me to wrap my head around. The premise of Ranger Academy is just so antithetical to what Power Rangers is, and like I've done rewrites of other things. Like I did a rewrite of Jungle Fury that I thought made it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more like what I would have liked to see out of it. I did like a specific thing about like was it 10 missed opportunities of Operation Overdrive. I like how that turned out. I was able to bring up some cool little plot points and things I thought would have been neat for the characters. And Mystic Force, I rewrote the bad guys because that was the main problem I had with Mystic Force was like I thought the Rangers were okay, the overall story was okay, but man, the villains were just so boring. And so for Ranger Academy, I wanted to do a rewrite of that, but no matter what I tried, I just could not wrap my head around. So yeah, here's a bunch of pictures I drew, like brainstorming. Let's see, we got this one here. Let's see, right here. This is the picture I did for the mission training DVD. And mission training was a weird little Power Rangers DVD pack-in thing. It was really interesting, and it had this dude here, Rex Ranger, teaching these two little Ranger recruit kids, and it's a fun little short thing. And I, when I went into Ranger Academy, I assumed this may have been the primary inspiration behind a lot of what goes on in that comic. But yeah, I'm not so sure now. Like at first I thought, oh, that's a cool little deep cut reference for the fans, but yeah, after reading all of it, I don't know. And let's see, up here, this is the very first picture that I drew for Ranger Academy. Originally, I when I started doing Ranger Academy reviews, it was so long ago that it was when like it was before I had like a solid way that I would do comic book thumbnails, comic book review thumbnails. Like now, when I do a comic book review, it'll have the cover in the middle and on the sides some panels or images from the comic. But early on, I was like, maybe I would do illustrated thumbnails like I do for the Rewatch series. So anyway, I got Sage here and the mysterious shadow behind her that never gets any explanation. We got Mathis and Tula here, and surprised I remember their names. I guess because I was so deep into. Oh, and also we got the little. Whoa. Down here we have that little pet goat thing that you better not tell Ryanth is a goat or he'll get mad at you for some reason. So yeah, there's that. The first, like, I just included this because it's kind of a historical thing. So, I guess I'll just start from down here. This isn't the first Ranger Academy brainstorming picture I drew, but it was one that really influenced a lot of like I was writing all these rough drafts and summaries and little notes and ideas of what a Ranger Academy rewrite could be. So I settled on okay, Lindy and Sage because they're the characters I liked the most, and also they're a green and blue ranger, so they fit in those little outfits from mission training. Oh, and also Sage's hair as I went along, her hair slowly changed. Lindy's hair looks okay, but Sage's I changed a little bit as I went along, and so here we got Rex Ranger from Mission Training. I thought, oh, wouldn't a neat thing be if he was in the comic and he was like their teacher or something? And then right here we have this little robot. I don't remember if this thing had a name. It was from a really old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers workbook of all things, and I just thought he had a cool design. And then right here we have a Crybot and Birdie. Come on. Okay, there we go, Birdie. And they're here because one of the things that really perplexed me was why isn't the comic trying more to tie in with SPD? Because it's set in space, it's at a Ranger Academy. We have a bunch of people like training to be Rangers. We have a bunch of teachers. That's SPD, but they don't ever do anything with that. And so I was thinking, okay, well, I don't want Doggy to be the teacher because that would be like too connected to SPD, but we have Birdie, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool to explore Birdie's character? And then a Crybot, just because I wanted to draw a Crybot here. And then this was another thing. Let's see, right here, or well, I'll talk about Sage first. So here's Sage, and this was me learning and evolving her hair design a little bit. Her hair changes a lot throughout my pictures. Now, right here, this is a weird thing. Years ago, when the first Power Rangers movie came out, or maybe it was a little bit before that, McDonald's did a line of Power Ranger toys, and there was this weird blue squishy thing. I have no idea what it is. I'm thinking it's either Finster's Monster-Matic, or maybe it's supposed to be part of the command center, but honestly, I have no idea what this thing is. But it had a cool design, so I kind of was thinking, like, can I incorporate this into Ranger Academy in any way? Can this be something that's important or relevant to something going on? But yeah, I couldn't really wrap my head around it, figure out anything to do. And so right here we have the girl from Power Rangers Infinity, this other comic, and I just drew her because I wanted to draw her because, man, she is a very strange character in one of the weirdest Power Ranger comics I've ever read. Like, it tops everything. Infinity is just so bizarre, and yeah, go watch that video. And then this guy, I don't remember why I drew him. I don't know where he came from, if he was designed after something in a workbook or a Power Ranger magazine or something. I don't remember a thing about why I drew this guy, unfortunately. And then here we got another thing. So in the middle here is Omni, the uh, penultimate villain of SPD, and he's a character I really thought that he would fit in Ranger Academy, like definitely better than Dark Spectre. I don't know where in the world Dark Spectre, all that nonsense came from, but Omni, he would have fit perfectly. He's a space monster. He can possess people. He can brainwash people. And over here we got the Phantom Ranger, which was a uh, build-a-figure thing in the Dino Thunder toy line. And then over here we got Rex Ranger because I was very committed to the idea of including him in the rewrite because like mission training is right there. Everything that Ranger Academy is really should have taken more influence from that. And also Omni is just a character I thought like we really could have fleshed him out more in the Ranger Academy comics. We could have made him an actual character rather than just a like really terrible twist at the end of SPD. Also, I needed a way to get him to walk around, so I made this weird little looking Dr. Seuss leg thing. I don't really know what it's something to get him around because he's a big brain and he doesn't have the parts for his robot body yet. And then Phantom Ranger just because I like trying to incorporate pre-existing things from toy lines or obscure comics and magazines and books and stuff like that. And so Phantom Ranger, I thought he could be like maybe a ranger at the Ranger Academy, or maybe he could be Rex Ranger's form. That would be pretty cool. And it would fit because, yeah, he has kind of a T-Rex-esque helmet. And then right here, let's see, one of the things in the comic that really disappointed me is there's no Zords. And so I was trying to think, like, okay, what kind of Zord should Sage have? And so here we got Sage, we got a Spectrite Crystal, which was one of the few things from Ranger Academy's comic that I really did like. I liked the idea of the Spectrite Crystals being the Power Rangers Lightning Bolt. It gives some actual relevance to that shape. And so I was going through different toys, specifically toys that were things that were not from the show, and there was a green Tiger Zord. And I was like, oh, well, that's perfect. And so, yeah, I figured Sage's Zord would be the green Tiger Zord here from the old Mix and Morph toys. Oh, and this is another picture from the actual comic. Let's see, in the final issue, she kills Dark Spectre with a single hit. And I couldn't stop thinking of that Legend of Zelda, "You've killed me." Good. Yeah. And oh, and yeah, Rex Ranger's favorite word, good. And oh, I think this is the first time where I really tried experimenting with Sage's hair, getting it like all spiked up. It's kind of Goku-esque a little bit. Oh, and there's the Morpher, which I didn't want to change the Morpher too much from how it actually looked in the comic. I kind of like that it just looks like a little square with or a rectangle with a gold coin in the middle. And there we got Lindy, and Lindy is a hard character to get right. Like she looks off here. I don't quite know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong drawing her, and she doesn't look right. Sage though, Sage looks great. I really like, especially how the green fades into the brown in her hair. That looks really good. And then right here, this is another picture I did for early on in the actual comics, and Sage's hair is a bit more how it actually looks in the comic, and I'm not a fan of it. I think I gave her a bit too big of a forehead. Also gave her a belly here for some reason. Over here we got Mathis, because Mathis was a pretty big character early on, and then or they just kind of fade away. And over here we got Lindy, who I think I did a little bit better. I think, yeah, the little silver things in her hair and this kind of expression fits her better here than I got her here. I don't know. Whatever. Moving on to the next one. Oh yeah, this is another thing from an actual comic. We have that one issue where Lindy is like really coming on to Sage, and so yeah, that's what this was based on. I got Sage here. Lindy knows what she's doing. This is something the comic didn't really explore too deeply. Maybe if there was a sequel, a follow up, or something where they're older, they could explore their relationship. Maybe they would go further with it, or maybe it would fall apart and they'd just stay friends or whatever. Moving on. This is another one that I think I drew especially for the comic. I wasn't thrilled with the dialogue in the comic, so here we got, what's his name? Theo. Quirky, funny line. Laugh, please. Friendly, reassuring line from Lindy. Yeah, and then I didn't even include the other kids because they're just so superfluous. Oh, and then this was funny. Green. Green is not a creative color. I drew this back when it seemed like everything was crapping on Sage. Poor Sage. Like, she just wants to be a ranger. She's got her coin, everything's cool, but then everything in the universe just has to be wrong. And so this notepad thing with the X is from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And so yeah, there's a scene in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, the very first short, I think, where he says, go and collect some leaves and sticks and arrange them into your favorite colors. And so everybody does that, and then he puts an X over green and says green is not a creative color. He sings it. And I just thought that, like, oddly fit Sage so well. And then there's a mission training picture, and then there's that one. And then here we got, yeah, Sage's Zord, and then I was trying to come up with something for Lindy, and yeah, there really weren't too many toy-exclusive blue Zords, but I was going through concept art for Ju 2 stuff. Ju 2, the stuff Saban was paying Toei to produce especially for Power Rangers, and there were these Zord designs that they never ended up going through with, but one of them looked kind of like this, and this is my interpretation of that, and so I thought, yeah, these guys would be Sage and Lindy's Zords. And then, yeah, this is the newest picture I drew. Like, still brainstorming. We have this pirate guy. He was from an old Power Rangers workbook. There was a picture of the command center, and the text says, can you put a circle around all the things that don't belong? And there was a pirate there who says, I'm lost. And I drew him for DeviantArt, and someone asked me what his name was, and I said, I don't know. The only thing he says is I'm lost, and someone suggested his name should be Captain Lost. And I was like, that's genius. So yeah, it's Captain Lost. And then here we got Sage, and this is the ideal way for her hair. I kind of wish I had blended the green and brown a little bit. The brown should be a little bit lighter, but overall, I really like this little Sage here. This is my Sage. And then we have Lindy over here, and these little green guys are also from the Power Rangers workbook. There was a page that said, which of these is Alpha 5? And this little green guy pops up at the bottom and says, I don't even know what an alpha is. Oh, also, Lindy, I got her hair right, I got her face right. It all came together. I think her face needs to be, like, really, like, kind of close together. It needs to be, like, it needs to take up her whole head, and that works. Sage, she can have a big forehead, and that works for her. But, yeah, Lindy, yeah, her forehead has to be covered with that different color hair that goes into her kind of reddish afro there. So yeah, there's a bunch of the Ranger Academy pictures that I've done over the past, like, year and a half, whatever. Well, I've been brainstorming, trying my hardest to put together a Ranger Academy rewrite, but man, I just cannot, I just cannot figure it out. Like, I keep making little strides, like, okay, I want Rex Ranger, I want this little alpha robot, I want I want Birdie as, like, the head at the SPD Academy that they're at, and, oh, that's another thing, the Academy that, let's see, mission training, It was affiliated with SPD. There's a scene where Rex calls Jack and Jack tells him something, and then there's a scene at the end where he opens up a door and he says, "You kids have to choose your Zords," and you see the Ninja Storm Zords. And so that was another thing I wondered was like, should I try to work in the Ninja Storm Zords at all? But I couldn't really find any Ninja Storm Zords that really fit. There weren't any like toy exclusive Ninja Storm Zords except for NinjaCon. And NinjaCon, like, I don't know, maybe he could fit in this story. Maybe NinjaCon could be something at the Ranger Academy, but I don't know. I like him better, like, staying like specifically with Ninja Storm. Particularly, I think he should be like a robot that Cam made for training purposes or something. But yeah, so there's Ranger Academy. This is basically me giving up on a rewrite. Like, I might still do these brainstorming pictures in the future. Expect more stuff like this, pretty much. But yeah, I give up on trying to do a cohesive rewrite because I kept trying and trying, and it's so hard because when I do a rewrite, I don't like to abandon the premise entirely. I like to keep the elements all there. I don't like to create too many new things. I like to try and use what's already existing and try to just reshape it into something that more appeals to me. But Ranger Academy, unfortunately, yeah, I can't figure it out. And the story itself doesn't keep itself straight. I mean, early on, Tula doesn't want, or yeah, Sage comes specifically to find Ryanth, and then later she's like, "No, I didn't know who Ryanth was," or I can't remember now what was going on. Like she said she didn't want Sage to come along, but then later on she says she didn't want Sage to come along, and I was like, is she mad or is the story changing itself? And then there's the whole mess with the security footage that no one ever brings up. I was watching reviews of Ranger Academy on YouTube, and I was so shocked. Someone did like a half hour or 40 some minute long video about Ranger Academy, and they never once mentioned the security footage, which for me was like the biggest sticking point. Like the security footage changes every issue. Like, and I like that doesn't make any sense. And that's not like artistic liberty. They were like completely changing who was there, what they were doing, what they were dressed like, and uh man, yeah, I didn't like Ranger Academy. I wanted to attempt a rewrite because I think there is something there, especially like considering like I really like mission training, and I kind of wish we would do something with with mission training, but unfortunately that's kind of forgotten and obscure, and Ranger Academy is probably going to be the biggest footprint it has on the legacy of the franchise. So yeah, there's Ranger Academy. I give up on a rewrite, but maybe in the future I'll do more brainstorming pictures. I might come up with an idea. Maybe they'll come out with a sequel to Ranger Academy. 'Cause, like, I don't know. Boom is very, very weird with what they choose to do with Power Rangers, so it's very hard to predict what they're going to do next. I just read the Free Comic Book Day issue, and I definitely did not expect the whole thing to focus around an original dog. And being a VR Troopers tie-in, I half expected the dog to be Jeb, but then it wasn't. I don't know how in the world they missed such an obvious thing, but they did. The dog is not Jeb. Jeb is nowhere to be seen in the VR Trooper comic. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point they'll bring Ranger Academy back, and maybe they'll go in a completely new direction. Maybe now, like Sage, Lindy, and their friends will actually turn into Rangers. They'll go off on adventures. They'll have Zords. They'll fight some kind of monster. Maybe we'll get cameos that actually like matter. Because that was another thing with Ranger Academy is I didn't really want them to go crazy on cameos, but like if they were going to do them, have some weight to them. As it is, like they have Katie show up and she just does nothing. They have Doggy show up and he just sits there. Literally, he just sits there. Um, yeah, I'm rambling now, so that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.